is my league career has gone full circle. I started off owning a league called Cryptic Racing League. I still own it to this day. And I had a driver called Riptide Gaming in it, who is also a YouTuber with about 1.97k, who you could go and sub to if you wish. And yeah, I raced against him. I then started commentating season 3 of CRL, and then I dropped out after season 3 and just focused on ownership. And now, almost 11 months later, I'm here commentating in his own league, which is in its 2nd season. But yeah, we're here today at Singapore, 9 drivers on the grid, which is alright numbers. CRL currently doing about 13, but we've just had a massive loss. So yeah, they're doing well for themselves. You should go check them out. But yeah, let's go. Qualifying now at Singapore. Well, no surprise it's chucking buckets here in Singapore. But that's traditional for a circuit like this in the Asian continent. It's monsoon race there. We don't really need tyre data. And you already see Ferrari and McLaren making their way out of the pits, and another Ferrari. And if I'm right, that's a Sauber. It's all kicking off now, as cars are getting onto the track. As you see a queue forming at pit exit. And now it's a question, who can set the fastest lap in these 17 or so minutes, as we are currently now watching the owner driver pull out of his pit garage and start limping down the pit lane. As he's number 8. But now we cut back to the little queue forming, I'll say, as there's 2 Ferraris. Oh, that Ferrari of Art almost spun it. I think he's actually gone off. Yeah, he has. Into the runoff. Early doors. That's going to be some tyre wear. As there we go back to those, in a way, limping round. Thomas James, who I did try and get in CRL numerous times, but he's resorted here after refusing numerous offers. But yeah, we are gonna sit along with him for a few. As you also have Ethan Provan and Flappy on just ahead, really, as a Ferrari's gone off again of Art. He's got no front wing and now doing a 3-point turn right into the path of Tiger. As yeah, Provan starts his run, so does Flappy, and now Thomas James and Juice, as the Sauber just pushing now. Ferrari has gone off again and now retired. They haven't even made it 3 minutes into their qualifying debut. But yeah, we will watch Ethan, who's gone purple sector 1, until Riptide reaches the final final heavy point. And now, foot to the floor, not much time to just sit back and relax, as his run will go underway. He's sitting in the middle of circuit, not the most efficient route. Now he gets nice and close to the outside, could be closer, and then just chucks it through the chicane to start the lap. Already a difficult complex to start a quali run with, but arguably he's aced it as he gets nice and wide, chucks the car right, and should really be shimmying the car right up against the barrier, but taking it cautiously. And now at the end of sector 1 he goes purple, but of course no one set a lap, so everyone's purple, with a 31.8 for sector 1. Issue with this lap so far, he ain't getting close enough, and that's really going to be holding him back in the longevity, as Ethan Proven 146.6, as Flappy is about 7 tenths slower. Thomas James in the 150s, as Riptide's hit the wall there, as the car now slides before braking for the hairpin at the end of Anderson Bridge. Down to the end of sector 2 he goes. What's it looking like? If I'm to put my finger to a lap, it's about a 151.2, which is 1.2 quicker than Juice, who's done a 52.4, as his teammates coming through the final corner now. Never mind, he's in the pit lane, as through the final braking point he goes. He's taking it cautious still. You really should be right up against that white line on the exit of that final slow speed corner, and then you just chuck it through to line, and it's a 47.4, which I've heavily underestimated him, as he's gone purple final sector and about 8 tenths off pole. As Black Dragon is on a run, he's on the inters unlike the others on the wet, and it's already proving to be a fairly tall order for the Haasman from America as well, as they just get their car into a decent position. Now turn the car in, turn it left. That's still quite cautious, not getting all the way up to the wall, but yeah, it's gonna be a 49.6, as Ethan Provan has improved on that and goes pole by 1.1 seconds, which has now just been stripped as Thomas James goes quicker by 3 tenths. Just shows the track evolution which is currently unravelling here at Singapore. Of course it's getting drier, as you can see. It's somewhat disappearing, the rain, as Flappy looked like it was getting very squirrely there, as Thomas James has hit the wall. I will answer that, Jeremy Kosoka Racing. Don't think so. I'm working tomorrow till 4, so chances are I won't be. And then I've got Slipstream Racing League at 7, which I'm commentating paid. So yeah. As in comes Riptide and Tygo on an outlap. It's really unclear who's going to be fastest in these early doors. Still 10 minutes left of the session, and Black Dragon currently the fastest of those on the inters, which I think could be the tie at the end. But overall fastest, it's Thomas James, a 1:45.9. He's really putting himself out there under the lights of Yas Marina Bay Street Circuit. But yeah, it looks like Ethan Provan is going to be pitting this time round. So does Black Dragon. In comes Ethan, but Flappy stays out. I'm so tempted to call him a bird, but yeah, he's just gone flying around and takes pole by a very slight margin. As out comes Riptide by no, yeah, out he comes. He's on the inters. Based off the tyre data, we'll confirm that. Yeah, he is on the Greenville tyres, as he's the second man to go out on them. Even though they were quicker than the Haas, and Storm, who is yet to come out, has also selected inters based off what we've got. As in comes the McLaren of the Hoos Juice. Now, and Ethan Provan also going on to inters. It looks like that's now, no, he's gone back to wets. It looks like it's a fan favourite option here. As you can see that Riptide now has the confidence in the car. He was just chucking it there. Looking very confident in that Red Bull of his. Just to look at him under this braking point, he's braking fairly late. I'd get right up against that curb. I'd actually be on that curb if I was him. But no, he's still biding his cautiousness, let's say, as he doesn't go full ham yet. But yeah, he's on an out lap. We're yet to see what Tygo does as a final lap, as he's currently on a run, as he's done a 16.9 in sector 2, which looks like he could be very close to his teammate, which may be scrapped, as Thomas James improves even further, a 44.6 now for the McLaren. Is getting closer to the inters times, as there's a big snap there. That's what you want to see, right up against track limits. But maybe it's showing that the tyres aren't enough, as he's gone miles off there, and he's gone fourth with, in any normal league race, invalid lap. But he's been let it slide by the FIA, probably due to more lenient track limits in this league, as it's more open for skill sets. But yeah, let's see what the owner can do again. Pushing down into turn 1. How brake does he lay? Yeah, it's an alright. Yeah, he's just pushed that curb too much there. And that's really showing what he thinks he can do on these inters, as Flappy is preparing to go out on inters as well by the looks of it. As it proves to have been a shift over, as Provan, with 6 minutes to go, is on the full wet still, as Riptide has done purple sector 1 on the intermediate rule tyres, or green rule. So I think it could be time for the inters. It could actually be the right time. Ethan Provan in the Sauber now in big danger, as the Red Bull continues to push on here. What can he do? He's still being semi-cautious, but you can see a semi-dry line forming, as there's Red Bull front wing, which he has just drove over, which is fairly ballsy. But yeah, we knew that Red Bull was fighting, but not much, as Riptide goes purple middle sector as well. Looks like he could be taking it to a McLaren now. He goes right, then left. How wide does he go though? Still not wide enough, which is costing him a tenth or two, as he chucks it through the final 3 corners really. And he's gone fastest by half a second. The times are getting quicker, as the tyres are shifting over. Is that going to be pole, or is he going to be shy? I think he'll be shy, but we can't rule him out until the final lap is done, as Cal Storm goes 1.7 off. I'm not surprised really, as Provan on the full wets, goes a tenth quicker than the Inters. Maybe there's still some pace in those full wet tyres, which the Inters drivers haven't uncovered yet. As Thomas James is limping out of the pit lane. Will he make a song about this race? Who knows? Yeah. But out he comes. He's let his teammate by, who seems to be on a push. As he gets nice and wide, now pushes down into turn 4. His teammate right up behind him. I wouldn't try and overtake if I was Thomas James, because you could really screw up your teammates lap, and that's not what you need in the papaya outfit at a circuit like Singapore. So yeah, he's gonna go on 7/10 up. He's gone miles off their track limits easily. And look at how much of a jeopardized run he has through there. No way he's gonna be top 8. Well, top 7 with that driving, but yeah, who knows. As he's really disobedient with track limits, I'll say, as the best word. And now, yeah, just put foot to the floor now. And he's about 3/10 slower than someone who done a lap on full wets. He's about a second slower than someone on full wets, which is something, as Calstorm goes fastest with a 42.4 with 3 minutes to go, as there's the M plate going off the McLaren as they go off and looks to abandon their run. As what's happened there, they're in the wall and not moving. As Thomas James now gets onto a run, that's a really good exit out of there, nice and slidey. Shows he wants to get fastest. He gets nice and wide as well, and he will ride the white line. Disqualification for De Hoos. That puts him P9 on the grid, which I didn't think would be possible regarding how 8 cars were doing laps. But yeah, that's happened. De Hoos gets disqualified from qualifying. As what can Thomas James do? Purple sector 1, 1.1 quicker than what he done. That will put him in P2. There's still about a second to find, but that's easily manageable on Inters when his fastest is on wet. So I think he's probably my favourite. If not him, then Ethan Provan for pole. I want to lean to the Sauber though, who's still on full wet, so maybe not. He's really forfeited his session by just pushing out on those full wets. Maybe he wants competition, who knows. But yeah, that's really going to stuff him up, as Thomas James 3.5 quick at the end of sector 2. That's going to put him about 1.3 quicker than Calstorm. But what can he do in sector 3? He's going to keep pushing down flat out until this heavy brakes get to the inside, just so you can get an optimal turning through the penultimate slow speed corner, well, final slow speed, and then just chuck it, tap the inside curve, get nice and wide, miss the second apex, and what a lap, a 139.9, ladies and gents. As who's on a lap, Flappy is, as he's going through sector 2, gone through the Singapore sling. How much pressure can he pile onto the McLaren? It could get interesting, but who knows. Chunks it left now, nice and wide. Good lap so far by the Ferrari, I think. Yeah, 3.5 quicker, purple middle sector. It's not going to put him on top, but he's on par with Thomas James. He's on par, so anything can happen. Even Provan, too late to come out. There's 20 seconds left and he's just left the pits. Flappy now, through final corner. What can he set? It's a 40.7. He's lost a lot in the final sector. Tiger, I don't think we've seen much of him this session. Same as Black Dragon, to be fair. But, yeah. Ooh, a big snap there by the Red Bull. Basically parallel to the Apex when they started turning in. Just a very overreactive Red Bull, I'll say. Has now left through the left-hander. Very narrow. As Cowstorm goes only a 10th of pole. But Tygo goes purple. Could it be something? Keep pushing. He's going to be the last man to do a lap. So it's all on for him. Actually, no, Cowstorm, but he's backed off. So it will be Black Dragon to be the last man to post a lap. But what can Tygo do? Gets very nice and close to the wall, which I'm loving from this Red Bull. As they've gone fastest. What about his teammate in blue? He's going through the final few corners now. He's very close to the inside. That's going to cost him a few attempts. Probably not fastest. Yeah, only goes 5th. As Flappy is now going through that same segment. How wide does he go? Very wide. That's really lovely. Pushing the whole track to its very limits. They know how to push. And it's only P3 though. It's only P3. As Black Dragon will be the last man to do it. Will he sneak himself up? He goes 3rd. And wow. 3rd, 4th and 5th. All split by less than 15 thousandths of a second. Which says something about how close they are in pure pace. But then Cowstorm, final man to do a lap. He's going to go into the pits. That's his session done. But yeah, Tygo will be your man on pole. Then Thomas James, Black Dragon, Flappy, Cowstorm, Riptide, and then Ethan Provan. Yeah, I agree with that. Track evolution was massive. That's why the last laps were crucial. But then that also showed how, even though Tygo wasn't last man to do a lap, he just capitalised on it. Yeah, that's common. 4/10 up with barely any fuel on in lap. Not surprised, but at least it's P2 for you on the grid. As yeah, Tygo will be a man on pole with a McLaren alongside, and Ethan Provan probably was the quickest, but because of being on wets all session long, they will be slowest. So yeah, that's your grid. Tygo, Thomas James, Black Dragon Jr., Flappy, Cowstorm, Riptide, Ethan, Art, and then Dahustruce in 9th. Let's see how the race unravels though. It's bound to be something. Yeah. Let's go. For those who are watching, who do you think's going to win? I'm going to put my money on Thomas James. Because yeah, I agree. It was a crazy session. Laps were improving all the way till the end. And there was like 5 minutes to go. Fastest lap was about 4 seconds slower than the actual pole lap, which just showed how crazy the evolution was. But that's why you go to circuits like Singapore, because you'll have weather like that in 50% of league races. But yeah, it's time to start, or at least it says so. And away we go here in Singapore. As there's a Ferrari off, it's Art who's already out. As you see, there's a lot of cars getting squirrelish really back there as Ethan Provan gets up nice and high, but safety car is out. And the man who started pole, down 2. But more importantly, Black Dragon Jr., 3rd on the grid, to 7th after turn 3 when the safety car got called out. But yeah, already neutralised. and it wasn't even like it was a collision or anything. But boy, oh boy, that says something. We could have already had our race determined. It looks like it'll be Thomas James Flappy and then Provan based off that start. Maybe even De Hoostreus. But Provan has just lost a chunk of front wing after going into Tiger by the looks of it. I want to say, yeah, Flappy's got a 10 seconds, which I think is a drive through, same as Iffy Leach. So who knows? Could be anyone's race now. For those on softs, if they're confident with tyres, possibly chuck cards on and get a free pit stop. Thomas James comes in, so does Tygo. Oh no, Thomas James didn't, but Tygo has. And so has Iffy Leach. Are they double stacking? Yes, they are. There goes Tygo, onto hards, just as I said. What about Iffy Leach? Also hards by the looks of it, but he is serving the 10-second stop and go penalty. And there you go. Swap over to the hards, and out he comes. Red Bull now in a really good position as long as they can stay within a pit stop of Thomas James. By about lap 10. Because that'd probably be optimal time for Thomas James to swap over to the softs now with this safety car, basically helping with the tyre warm up and giving him an extra bit of push for an extra few laps. But yeah, I still got my money on Thomas James for this race. Papa will be on top today, in my opinion. But Red Bull could come and spoil the party now, but with them pitting, are any of these soft runners going to go? Ooh, do I want to pit now? But who knows? As the McLaren's punted into Ethan Provan. If you do enjoy league race commentary, please do subscribe and then turn your notifications on, because you'll be notified whenever I'm doing something league related, which should hopefully be a league race every Friday in the new year, along with commentary every Saturday in the new year for Slipstream Racing League. And then I'll be driving in F2 Championship Series, which is a new league I'm creating alongside CRL. But yeah, currently no one's pitting apart from those two Red Bulls who already have. And safety car goes round another lap. If any drivers are in chat, please talk to me. I want something to talk about, but yeah. There really ain't much under safety car, especially so early in a race. But yeah. Probably being on mediums. That's a really good start. And there's damage. Black Dragon Jr. goes into the back of Cowstorm, gets damage from it, and a 10-second penalty, just to add salt to the wound, really. Riptide says good start from Red Bull, 7th and 8th, with a pit stop in hand. Yeah, it's an alright start, but yeah, back to Tom Nichols. What makes you think I will win? yeah, being on mediums and demonstrated pace. But yeah, let's see how he monitors the restart. Flappy 10-second penalty for severe collision with Thomas James. That's now giving him free run. As he backs him up, in comes Black Dragon Jr. And away we go for the restart here. How racy are the Red Bulls going to be? As you see, they basically sandwich Cowstorm. That's Cowstorm forcing Tiger off the track though. So a possible penalty coming the Aston's way for that. As yeah, the Red Bull was distinctly ahead but no room. Which could be argued as Tygo goes for a move on Rector Goose as there's contact, but that's been neutralised basically again. As Flappy's basically took out Ethan Provan on the Ferrari that went out. Damn. Rector Goose sent himself. Ah. But yeah, Thomas James basically caught up in a collision there. Drops from first to third as a result. Still anything can happen though, as Ethan Provan is now in a very good position, making some decent progression. There's some wordplay, but yeah, I'm bored. That's why I'm here. Won't actually be commentating, but yeah, as he's gone off Flappy fastest lap, Thomas James now capitalising and moving back up into second, already gaining a place. That's all perfect from Thomas James. Ethan Provan went off and then he shut the door, but Rector who's also a penalty in his hands. Thomas James still will to will, but he's got ahead now, but no DRS to save him in a sense. Will it happen? No, he's gone off though, so has Provan though. And now you just continue on. You just keep going. As Thomas James starts to drop the Sauber behind him and starts looking at the Ferrari. As there's a minimal gain being made, but Rector Goose going slowly on pit exit as Black Dragon Jr. up to P7 from that pit stop. But yeah, now everyone's really split out as Thomas James goes purple in the second sector of the lap, which is good. But again, Riptide goes off into the wall, front wing missing some parts, as virtual safety car is called out. Anyone gonna pit? Cowstorm should. Thomas James has, but he's crashed. He's crashed in the pits. That's gonna go to a full if I'm right. But Cowstorm speeding in pit lane there. Thomas James has just forfeited a big chance to win here, but he's on the soft. He's on the hards. I mean, he'll have to try and go a long distance. As Riptide's also in for mediums, which isn't helping his cause either. But Cowstorm's now ahead of Thomas James, meaning there will be some work to do. As it's a full safety car. It's a full safety car. Safety car's on track, but it says virtual safety car on here, so yeah, something's gone wrong. But yeah, you also see that, don't you? Safety car's on track, but it's a virtual. Don't know, but yeah. Yeah, on the boards it says SC, so it is a full safety car. Can one of the drivers hopefully update me, but yeah, if not, don't worry. If so, then Flappy and Ethan Provan and Tygo will probably have to pit, because Tygo's going to have a tyre deficit and that could really stuff him up here. And they have a gap to Cowstorm. They could all put mediums on and go to the end and probably change the whole dynamic of this race. But what will Flappy do? What will the bird do? He was flying in qualifying. Will he pit to go flying to the end? Yeah, he will, but that's an illegal pit entry. He started on the right hand side of white line. So did Thomas James, to be fair. But yeah, this is more like I'm the head of FIA. I'm just labelling a bunch of incidents. But yeah, let's see what happens. Does the safety car pull ahead? Yes, it will. So yeah, it is a full course safety car. I know my facts. The front wing damage basically settled it. But what's got me wondering is, why is the Haas stayed out? They're really quick, but they don't have any knowledge of what to do in these scenarios. When it was quali and you saw the Inters going quicker, he stayed out wet. Here, he should have pitted when it was a VSC. He didn't. Then it became a full SC. He was still miles ahead. And he hasn't seized the opportunity to pit now. Everyone's catching and he's on the old softs. He's going to have to pit at some point as well. So, yeah, Cowstorm, extra pit stop onto mediums. Don't really see the point in that choice, because you're on the hards going to the end. You have better tyre life than everyone at the end. You'll be quicker at the end. You'll just forfeit in the earlier parts. But yeah, you can tell this is a race of questions. But Tygo, pole man, in second, and probably now in a really good position to win. But Thomas James, arguably in a better slot. Yes, he's got Flappy just ahead of him, but they'll be able to overtake. And yeah, sorry for the on, but yeah, don't worry about my sleep schedule. It's perfect. Midnight to 6 AM, 6 hours sleep a day. Okay, anyways, let's crack on. We might as well have a look at everyone's batteries. Ethan's full, but he's in now. He's probably heard me dissing him about it. And another victim to speeding in pit lane. Flappy full, Thomas James full. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, just burn battery under safety car with no front wing. Yeah, nothing odd with that. We move on. And yeah, that's your pit stops. One stop for all but Red Bull of Riptide and Cowstorm, and now Black Dragon, who've done 2. Tygo, Flappy, Thomas James, Ethan Provan, and a Who's Juice. 1 stop, and then Art, who has done less corners than the average pit stops on the grid today. He's done 0 stops and 0 corners amongst the grid average of about 1.5 pit stops. So yeah, in terms of tyre life, he's also basically lowest tyre life as well. Penalties, DNF is arguably a worse pen. Yeah, position change, not bad. He's probably got one of the best net losses of -1. So yeah, overall decent race from him. But hey ho. Safety car in this lap. Tygo, man from pole, will be leading the restart. He'll have a Ferrari behind him instead of the McLaren who started behind him at the very beginning, as it's a lap 8 of 16 here. When will they go? missing the end plate on that Red Bull, but that shouldn't stop him. As he goes now, in comes the Sauber to serve a penalty. They've also taken pit lane incorrectly again, which, yeah, it's gonna bite them all in the back when they've tallied that up. But yeah, Targo leads to Flappy with a penalty, then Thomas James. It's really going to be a race between Targo, Thomas James and possibly Riptide, if the Red Bull can hang on. As in goes the McLaren to the wall. You can see back there, that's the McLaren's day. That's probably a safety car again, because he's right on the outside of the corner, if there ain't one. And yeah, well, that was that. Short-lived restart for the Hoos Juice. He hit the juice a bit too hard and went off, yeah. As Targo's lost place to Flappy, now looks very vulnerable to the McLaren on the hards. Are they going to go for it? Big snap there, and there goes the McLaren. Thomas James now up to first, and prime position to win. I'll be honest with you lot, if I was there I would win. As there goes Riptide with Black Dragon. Didn't force them off, but they both kind of had a little hissy fit there mid-corner. As Galstorm now basically doing defensive work on Red Bull, as Flappy goes fastest. Thomas James in hot pursuit right behind him. You can tell I'm very much a fan of that McLaren. He's just been quick all weekend, really. He's never really been out of position in consistent pace. So yeah. And then in Lucky 47 League E1, I think. Yeah. He's also won here before, I want to say. I think it was at Monaco where 7 attended and 2 finished, and they're split by 35 seconds or whatever. But yeah, will he become the league's king of the streets, as he's on for a second win here, if I'm right. Pushing quite heavily, and they're all over the Ferrari. Will they go for it? No. Plays it clever again, knows what they're doing, and now DRS wide open. They're gonna start catching, but is it gonna be enough? No, they'll go wide though. They'll keep pushing. As Thomas James is perilously close. DRS now open as he's done fastest lap of the race. He's lit the track as Flappy hangs on again. This race is all about track position, but the penalty on the Ferrari is basically guaranteeing defeat. That's where the Red Bulls looked like they were in prime position to win after the lap 1 safety car. That's all gone to shit, as basically another safety car came out and everyone pit to neutralise it again. As Thomas James getting all over the Ferrari. Will it be the move now? Will it be time? He's looking everywhere, trying to get out of dirty air, and there he goes. They've made contact. Ferrari was turning heavier though, so that's not on the McLaren. The McLaren didn't really do anything wrong. The Ferrari just went too heavy and hit him and ricocheted off. And now it's Tygo versus James. But question is, that McLaren's rapid. How long will it take until that's all gone? As Cowstorm is going to lunge, cuts the corner in an attempt to as well. So, could be inbound. Unless it all goes wrong for the Aston. As the Ferrari is pushing on for a while longer. Ferrari's gone off and the Aston's up into third. Nice and simple, but will the Ferrari fight back? No. Cuts the corner instead. and that Ferrari is really now dying. I'm surprised they haven't pitted for like softs and just pushed for fastest or anything. But yeah, that seems to be what Ethan Provan's done. He's on softs with 2 laps away and miles behind. Well, so that's what they done on safety car restart. But yeah, that Ferrari isn't going to last long, I'll tell you that. Look at the damage on the car. It really ain't going to go well. As you can see, Black Dragon's catching, who's about 2 seconds off the Aston. The Aston just needs to drive it now. Just cruise it to the end and they'll be safe. As the Ferrari's gone off, that may be the 3rd safety car of the race on lap 12 of 16. No, it's been cleared very quickly. And now that's gone to nothing. Tygo now pushing on. Cut corner there. As there goes Thomas James. They've both gone off. Final corner. Tygo's improving. Don't know about Thomas James though. As Tygo is just hanging on. It looks like it will be a battle between the two till the end. Let's be realistic, Ethan Provan probably had the pace to get 3rd. At bare minimum, if they didn't get a penalty for speeding pit lane, but that's what racing is, as they've gone off again. There's probably been more track limits committed by each driver than there is laps in this race. I've probably said that too many times. I'm now getting sick of the word track limits. But yeah, as Thomas James now pulls just outside of DRS. Tygo's not in a second over detection. Not surprised the wing ain't open. But now it's James just to walk away with it. Calstorm's pulling away from Black Dragon. As there goes Tygo. Big catch there by the Red Bull. Big catch. But that's basically confirmed that this is the McLaren's race to win. And I've been saying it since qualifying ended, basically, that it'd be the McLaren's race. And yeah, fastest lap there for Thomas James, 1:30.4. He's now putting his foot to the floor there. He's a force to be reckoned with, as Tygo again gets into a rocky position. Not looking good at all, but yeah. He'll keep pushing though. Tygo probably knows that he's lost unless the leader messes up, who's honestly drove a flawless race so far and doesn't look to be stopping. As there's Thomas James, he will keep going. 2 more laps to the end. 2 more laps for me until I can just relax now. As Thomas James goes fastest again. I don't really know who to watch. There really isn't much on track. Everyone's split up. I want to see what Provan can do. Maybe saving up for final lap just to go flat out and push. But yeah, I'm honestly surprised Riptide or Black Dragon haven't gone over to soft and tried doing a push lap against the hards of Thomas James. Surely they'll be able to put in a quicker lap with low fuel and a lot of track evolution. But yeah, we will ride on board with the Aston who, despite all which has happened in this race, is standing strong and looking like it's a guaranteed podium now, as 2.8 seconds is very improbable. As you look here, just kisses the apex, doesn't really attack it, just nursing the car now, guaranteeing he'll bring it home. Whereas if you watch Black Dragon here, he just misses the apex, which really does him in. Then he has a snap from the rear, and that doesn't help as much. If you look here, it's going to be another case of that. He's going to be very slow when it comes to the apex. And then if you look at Riptide, it will attack it a bit too much, which is killing his tyres off quicker than the likes of Black Dragon. So it's really driving style. I'll also point out with Tygo, he's just, that's a beautiful line, and shows that he hasn't really gave up with this race, despite having them hards on from lap 1, which I'll be honest, he deserves driver of the day in my books, because he's gone full race distance on them hards through all the pain and suffering and still P2. Just shows how the strategy worked for him. And then that begs the question, what if Riptide didn't pit again? Would he have joined him on the podium? That would have been a big payday for Red Bull in the standings. But yeah, there's only one man you can celebrate, and it's this McLaren. Last time he's won in this league, it was Monaco last season, if I'm right. And he's gonna do it again in another street circuit. You might as well call him the king of streets at this point. It's Thomas James, who will come around the final few corners here to win in Singapore and take the checkered flag ahead of Tygo, who gave him competition until about lap 14. I was going to say until the end, but that's not quite true. And Cowstorm thoroughly deserved its P3, Black Dragon then P4. Iffy Leech coming round final few corners, or Riptide, the owner, P5, which is, I believe, matches his league average finish. And then Ethan Provan, 40 seconds off pace. He wasn't really there today. He was quick in quali, but then tyre choice throughout session, full wets to the end, screwed him up. And then getting caught up in an incident or two, and then getting a 10-second for speeding. It just didn't really piece up. But yeah, he's made it to the end. He's got Sauber 8 points, which is more than the Ferraris managed to do, and there were 2 of them. But yeah, you get the gist. It will be P6 for Ethan Provan. But yeah, Thomas James will win in Singapore. I'm sorry, but I'm just really good with league predictions. I know who'll win like that. Wow. And now I can say I've finally commentated this league. Another one to check on my list: Cryptic Racing League, Van Dyke Racing League, Slipstream Racing League, and then that's about it. But yeah, there's McLaren's, the papaya on top step, just like they were in real life really here, and they were contested by Red Bull, which faded out. But regardless of that, that's your podium: Thomas James, Tygo, and then Cowstorm, or Storm. But yeah, boy oh boy, that was a race and a half. And I will see. I just want to know if I'm going to actually see race results. If not, I'll see you all later. Do I? No, I won't. But yeah, it was Tom Nichols, Tygo, Cowstorm, Iffy Leech, No, not Iffy Leach. Black Dragon, Iffy Leach, and then Ethan Provan. Tom Nichols, talk to me on Discord about it, because yeah, I'm gonna see you all later. Goodbye. Wait, what?